Hello and welcome again to Not Fake News. Got three breaking stories. One, casualty report may have been wrong. Look what Syria just announced. Breaking. Second story, Russia responds to U.S. airstrike and it's nuts. And Syria airstrike battle damage assessment is in and it's big. Alright, casualty report. Let's see what's going on. Syria has announced the U.S. missile strikes killed 7 people. The initial report by the U.S. showed 0 deaths. From the AP, a Syrian official says a U.S. missile strike on the airbase in the country's center has killed 7 people. Talal Barazi, the governor of the province of Homs, where on the base is based, says the Friday attack was also wounded 9 people. Initial reports say 6 were killed. The attacks also caused extensive damage to the airbase. The Syrian military called the attack a blatant aggression that would undermine its war on terror. Next story. Russian response to U.S. airstrike. Russia has responded claiming it will upgrade Syria's air defenses and has suspended the air pact between the U.S. over Syria. In addition, Syria has claimed that several of its soldiers have died at the airbase that was attacked. And Russia also claims that only 23 of 59 cruise missiles reached the base. If Trump wanted to provoke the Kremlin, an odd decision considering all the daily press coverage that the Kremlin controlled the president, he has just achieved that. Russia said it will reinforce Syria's air defenses and has, as reported previously, in sending a missile-carrying warship to the eastern Mediterranean in response to the U.S. cruise missile strikes on Syrian government airbase. The Russian Military of Defense said in a statement that to protect key Syrian infrastructure, a range of measures will be taken to reinforce and improve the effectiveness of the Syrian armed forces' air defense. The announcement came as the Admiral Grenovich, a cruise missile-carrying frigate, passed through the Bosporus en route to Russia's Syrian naval base at Tartus. Also, on Friday, Russia announced it had halted its air safety agreement with the U.S., meant to avoid air incidents with the U.S. over Syria, saying U.S. airstrikes had caused considerable damage to Moscow-Washington relationships. The memorandum signed in October 2015 was designed to avoid clashes in the crowded airspace over Syria, with each side giving the other warning over planned strikes. The Defense Ministry also said that 6 MiG-23 fighters were destroyed in the U.S. missile strike on a Syrian airfield in Homs province, but the runway remained intact. The strike on the Shirat airfield in Syria's Homs province destroyed a material storage depot, a training facility, a canteen, 6 MiG-23 aircrafts in repair hangars, and a radar station. 2 Syrian servicemen are missing as a result of the U.S. attack on the airfield in the country, while 4 were killed and 6 were injured, exhausting the flames. Russian Defense Ministry spokesman Ma-Gen Igor Kanagaskevov said Friday, according to the information of the leadership of Syrian airbase, 2 Syrian servicemen went missing. 4 were killed and 6 received burn injuries during the fighting, he said. The runway taxiways and the Syrian aircrafts on the parking apron remain undamaged. Russian Defense Ministry spokesperson said in a statement the ministry described the combat efficiency of a strike as quite poor. On April 7, 2017, between 3:42 a.m. and 3:56 a.m. Moscow time, 2 U.S. Navy destroyers, USS Porter and USS Ross, fired 59 Tomahawk cruise missiles at Sarat airfield at Homs province in Syria, from an area near the island of Crete in the Mediterranean Sea. According to the sources, only 23 of them reached the Syrian airbase. Russian Defense Ministry spokesperson Major General Igor Konaskevov said, adding that the points of impact of the other 36 cruise missiles remain unknown. And finally, breaking. Syrian airstrike battle damage assessment is in, and it's big. The Syrian airbase struck by Tomahawk cruise missiles last night has been almost completely destroyed. According to the Syrian military, 7 of their soldiers were killed and 9 were wounded. There were no reports of Russian casualties. According to the U.S. military, the airstrike was a one-time event, and there are no plans for further escalation or more incursion into Syria. The Syrian airfield targeted by the U.S. airstrikes earlier Friday was almost completely destroyed, a human rights group in the country said. The Britain-based Syrian Observation for Human Rights said the missile attack damaged over a dozen hangars, a fuel depot, and an air defense base. About 60 U.S. Tomahawk missiles hit the Shia Air Force Base southwest of Homs in a small installation with 2 runways. At least 7 Syrian soldiers were killed and 9 were wounded in the airstrike, the country's military said. The governor of Homs province said he did not believe the strikes caused a large number of human casualties. A Syrian official, the attack caused deaths and fire, but did not elaborate. Tonight, I ordered a targeted military strike. The U.S. missiles hit 3:45 a.m. local time in Syria. Syrian state TV called the attack aggression that led to losses. Initial indications are that the strike has severely damaged or destroyed Syrian aircraft from support infrastructure in the equipment of Shirat airfield, reducing the Syrian government's ability to deliver chemical weapons. Captain Jeff Davis, a Pentagon spokesperson, said, according to Reuters. Davis said the U.S. was willing to assess the results of the 59 Tomahawks fired, expressing hope that Assad's government learned a lesson. He said it was ultimately the regime's choice if more military option would be needed. Syrian state TV showed footage of a fast sequence of orange flashes that lit the sky up in the darkness before the crack of dawn. The shady footage, apparently filmed with the mobile phone camera and aired Friday, came out hours after 60 Tomahawk missiles hit the base in Homs province, causing extensive damage to the base.
On Tuesday, Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad launched a horrible chemical weapons attack on innocent civilians.
I don't know why he did that, though. I don't know why he did that. I don't want to downplay it and act as if I know anything, because you know what? I'm sitting here in a house. I'm not the president, and I don't have the details. But it just seems to me like, why would Assad do this? I heard Alex Jones say this, and I'm going to say it to you. It's sort of like Assad won the lottery and then just ripped the ticket up, because everybody was kind of on Assad's side or neutral to him lately. People were warming up to Assad. Why? Because he's not the worst evil person out there. You follow? There's other more evil people that we didn't want taken over, and Assad was like the best of the worst options. And people were neutral. People were okay. It's sort of like having a winning lottery ticket and then just ripping it up. So I don't understand why he did it, but let's just listen.
Assad choked out the lives of helpless men, women, and children. It was a slow and brutal death for so many. Even beautiful babies were cruelly murdered in this very barbaric attack.
When you say it like that, it's
no
terrible.
child of God should ever suffer such horror. Tonight I ordered a targeted military strike on the airfield in Syria from where the chemical attack was launched. It is in this vital national security interest of the United States to prevent and deter the spread and use of deadly chemical weapons. There can be no dispute that Syria used banned chemical weapons, violated its obligations under the Chemical Weapons Convention and ignored the urging of the UN Security Council. Years of previous attempts at changing Assad's behavior have all failed, and failed very dramatically. As a result, the refugee crisis continues to deepen, and the region continues to destabilize, threatening the United States and its allies. Tonight I call on all civilized nations to join us in seeking to end the slaughter and bloodshed in Syria, and also to end terrorism of all kinds and all types. We ask for God's wisdom as we face the challenge.
Okay. That's it, folks.